Good afternoon. Hey, 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 everybody. Come on in. As you come in the room, say something. Let us know that you're here. Good afternoon. Co-Pastor Marilyn, I see you are here. As you come in, thank you for tagging and sharing. As you can see, I've already started tagging some people. Let's hit that heart button and that love button. We know why we do that because it changes the algorithm with Facebook and it causes others to know that we are here and we are on. And guess what? This afternoon, I want this to go viral. I want this interview with my spiritual mother to go viral tonight. I believe that there is a word in her. Not that this is a preaching service, but I believe that there is something. Good afternoon, Michelle Harris. Good evening. There are some things that she's going to share with us that she's going to impart into us that's going to be pivotal for this season. And so once you come in, don't just hang in the background. Say something. Let us know that you are here. And please participate this afternoon. Let's use our phones. Good afternoon, Jill White. How are you? Good evening. Good evening. Let's use those phones, those iPhones, Androids, laptops, computers, iPads, tablets, whatever device you are using tonight to stream with us. Let's use those devices as an evangelistic tool and let's reach out. Let's tag and share tonight. Do as the banner says. I'm going to wait for about another 30 seconds as we change the algorithm tonight and share and tag on your end. Do me a favor, share the live, not only tag, but share the live. I want as many people as possible that can go back and watch this interview and watch this. I believe that, as I've already said, that there is something pivotal and very important that's going to be shared tonight. If you've been paying attention, hey, if you've been paying attention to any of my posts, you know that tonight is an interview with the one and only Dr. Beatrice Gardiner. Many of you may know her, or if you don't know her, you'll get to know her tonight. She is my spiritual mother. She is the reason why I am who I am, and I am grateful to the Lord for her on tonight. I am honored tonight. Hey, Nanny, I am honored tonight. They are coming in from YouTube. Thank you, YouTube. Go ahead and share. Hey, Mother Dwight, go ahead and share the live, YouTube and Facebook. Take the time to tag someone in and share and let them know that we are here. We are on tonight. Good evening, Elva. Good evening, woman of God. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for hopping on. Let's go ahead and tag and share. I'm going to tag just a few more people in, and before I release her tonight, as she shares, I'm going to ask a few questions, and she's going to be sharing with us. But for those of you that don't know, she is the one and only, as I said, Dr. Beatrice Gardiner. Many of you may know her from singing the original with Thompson Community and other songs, Safe in His Arms. We know that there are so many that came behind her, but she is the original tonight. And so I bless the name of the Lord. I am honored tonight to have her on, to interview her for the first time, y'all. So I'm excited tonight. So as you come in, hit that love button, that heart button. Let's tag and share and like and love. And we're going to get started in about 30 seconds. We're going to get started. Thank you for tagging and sharing on tonight. I want to get the algorithm changed. I want the algorithm to, we know that Facebook has a tendency to put a cap on the numbers that are shared. But if we show some activity and hit that love button and that heart button, I believe that we can break through the algorithm on tonight. And so thank you for coming on. Thank you for hopping on with us tonight. And let me say thank you for praying. Those of you that are with us doing intercession in the morning, I was not on this morning. I wasn't feeling well, but thank you so much for praying for me. I don't feel 100%, but we are here tonight, and I bless the name of the Lord that we are able to share. So we are excited tonight. You may want to get your notepad. You may want to take some notes for some information that we're going to be sharing. And tonight we're going to be talking about our upcoming mentoring classes that will begin on this coming Saturday, February 22nd at 6:30 p.m. Central. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for 1.5. Thank you for 1.5 hours only every other Saturday. This is a 16-week course beginning February 22nd through September 13, 2025. There were many that shared in with us during our semester one back in, I believe it was 2020 or 2021. And so there are so many people that have come up and said, I want to mentor, I need to be mentored. Many of you that were privy to be at the retreat, so many people, said, oh, Mother Gardiner, Lady B, I would love for you to mentor me. So this is a great opportunity to be mentored. And so we want to talk about the importance of mentorship in the kingdom. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the unleashing and the, should I say, the unleashing or the coming back again of the Healing from the Inside Out Retreat 2025. All right. And so we're excited tonight. I'm going to go out and come back in real fast on my page just to see. Let's go ahead and tag and share so that this video can go viral. Thank you for hitting that heart button and that love button. Hello, everybody. Hello, come on in the room. All right, so I'm going to bring her on the screen right now, and I trust that there are going to be others that's going to join in with us shortly, but I'm going to go ahead and bring her in. Hey, Mother. Bring her
Hello.
on the screen. Let me see if I can get this a little bit better. We're all the way. There we are. All right.
All right.
Being on tonight. I'm excited that you are here again. I am so honored and privileged. And I thought about this as I was preparing tonight. It's an honor in this day, in this season, to have a spiritual mother or daughters or sons that you're not embarrassed by. So much is happening in the church and so much is happening in the kingdom. And so I just want you to share a little bit about who you are for those that don't know you. Hey, Keisha, I want you to share a little bit about who you are. And then we're going to go into talking about mentorship. I think that's so very important. We talked a little bit today about it. And so many people, I think, in this season feels like mentorship is not important. And I beg to differ with that. Hey, Ash, come on in, y'all. I beg to differ with that. And so just tell us, first of all, for those that don't know you, I think everybody on here, if they don't, they will. But let's share a little bit about who you are, and then we'll go into talking about the mentorship program.
Well, I have many titles, but I just simply go by Lady B. But I'm Prophetess Gardiner, Dr. Gardiner, Pastor Gardiner, Evangelist Gardiner, however you want to call it. I'm just simply Lady B. Many of you know me from the recording Safe in His Arms. Thank you. And I know he can do it from the Thompson Community Singers. A lot of people didn't realize that I recorded 3 songs with the Tommies. Those that knew me from ministering did know that I was a recording artist. And those that knew me as a recording artist didn't know that I was a preacher, but I was a preacher before the recording artist. From Chicago. And I have been in ministry practically all of my life. I started as a daughter of Zion at age 14. At age 18, I started preaching. At age 21, I was full-time evangelist. So I've been out here quite a bit. I'll be 65 in August. So do the math. I've been out here for a minute.
Amen. And somebody that's been out here for as long as you have been, you're an icon, really. You are one that have paved the way for many upcoming people in ministry today. I think that we are, because of who you are, and I say that all the time. You have taught me, have shaped me, have mentored me into who I am. And if it were not for you, not only teaching me the basics of preaching, but more importantly, on how to handle myself on the road as a single evangelist, right? At a young age, traveling the field. And we don't find that much today. And so going into the mentorship program, I know that there are so many people, and let me back up a little bit. I do want to say that the mentoring program is not only for those that are functioning in the 5-0 office, right?
Right.
So many times we think that, well, I'm not in ministry, or I'm not called to this, so it's not for me. This is for anyone that in life itself, whether you're functioning in the 5-0, whether you function in the ministry of helps, whether you are a Levite, whether you are in the marketplace, whether you are an entrepreneur or creative. I believe that there is we all need Jethros. And I think that you have functioned in so many areas in your life, just teaching women, teaching mothers, teaching single women, even mentoring. You have sons as well as daughters, right? And so I think it's
Yes.
so
Yes.
important. And so many in this season, for whatever the reason is, and maybe you can shed some light on that, for whatever the reason is, think that when you're called to something, or when you're anointed to something, or God has placed a certain mandate on your life, that's just enough and you can just run out and do it. And so we find so many now that's, just making shipwreck. So what's your thoughts on the importance of being mentored, especially in the season where we are now?
Oh my God. It is vitally important that you take the time, invest in your ministry enough to allow someone who have the experience to mentor, train, or impart into you. A mentor is a person that develops, that gives impartation, instruction, skills, the whole nine. What I'm seeing now is people that has self-proclaimed themselves to be a title, but have no clue of what real ministry is all about. And I think that's very unfortunate. I set up under several leaders. I was trained several ministries. Uh, but the ultimate was, I came out in a day when I think I shared this with you the other day. It was Rita Womack, Juanita Sapp, Jackie McCullough, um, myself. It was, um, uh, I can't even think of her name now, but she just recently passed, and I know her very well. But I mean, we came out as female evangelists. Maria Gardiner. We came out as female evangelists at a time when women weren't really supposed to preach. I was really the baby of them because I was the youngest coming out. But coming out and ministering and training, being trained by people who had been in ministry, I think it's of a poor nature if you feel like you've already arrived. I mean, after all the years I've been in ministry, I still feel like I can learn something. I still feel like there's someone that has something that they could impart into me that would help me even be better. No one is an island. No one stands alone. And when you decide to run off half cock and do it yourself, you're doing yourself an injustice because mentors not only mentor and train you, but they're looking for sons and daughters to launch forward. They're looking for your giftings and your skill and looking for the God in you that they could trust to be able to send you when they can't go. I remember years ago when I was doing mentoring, I had a rostrum. I had a Monday night school of learning in my church, and I had a rostrum so that when pastors wanted someone to come, if they had set up under my ministry and training, I felt like I could trust them to go out on the road and not make the ministry or God look bad. I would refer them. Um, Everyone needs some, a lot of times people think I'm anointed, I'm gifted, and I can go out here and I can just do it. And you'll be sitting at home because a lot of what ministry is word of mouth. You know, a person want to know who's good. Do you know somebody? Do you have someone that could fit this particular thing? And I am not the kind of creature that's jealous. In fact, I'm the kind that pushes people forward. I want to see you go forward. I will put you out there. I will give you that opportunity because I believe that hands on experience is the best experience. And you will never really learn. I mean, you can open books all day long, but until you actually get out there and begin to experience the feel of the anointing, the flow of the anointing, and actually move in the giftings of the anointing, you're just spinning your wheels. So if I could give anyone a word, everyone need a mentor. Everyone needs someone that you can glean from. When I was 18, I traveled with a prophet that traveled all over the country. When I was 23, I was positioned with Pastor E.R. Allen, who traveled all over the country. And I sat, you know, there were times I wasn't even preaching, I was just the song leader. But I sat and gleaned and I learned what I needed to learn before I was launched forward. By the time I'm 21, I'm launched because I have sat and I have gleaned for years what I needed to know and then still learn as I went. You learn as you go. Some part was taught, some part was read, and the greater part came from God Himself. Yeah.
That is awesome. That's awesome. As you were talking, I remember when this is just a little bit of a transparent moment. When I first came to you, and I think this is going to help some people because people see where you are now, or they may look at me to see where I am now, and I'm not by far where I ascertain to be, right? But uh, they are like, oh my God. One thing I found that, right, Elva, one thing I learned, and I heard a lot was, oh my God, you don't preach from paper. Now that's not to knock anybody that does, right? But oh my God, you
Mm.
don't preach from paper. Oh my God, how can all that be in your head? How can all that? Well, it was because of the way that I was trained and I was mentored. And when I came to you, I really thought I was doing something, right? I thought that, listen. That's a good question. That's a good question, Elvin. We're gonna get to that. She's asking the question, why is there so much jealousy in ministry? And we're gonna answer that. Thank you for uh, posting that question. And one thing I can honestly say that it really is, and there is no type of jealousy or intimidation when it comes to myself and my spiritual mind. Matter of fact, I still get nervous, y'all. I just get so nervous. And I have been preaching for years. And whenever she comes in my service, I'm like, you don't have to come. You don't just, stay in your room and rest. Just relax. Um, but so many people are in awe. But I submitted myself to being trained and being taught and being rebuked and being set down and all those things. And today it's almost like ministry is almost being handled like, uh even though there is a business aspect to ministry, it's almost like it's being handled, right, like it's business. And um so it's there's something missing there, that and I say this all the
Yeah.
time, that old school mothering and that teaching
Yes.
and that fathering that's missing. And so we find so many that's up and running and just making shipwreck and bringing embarrassment to the kingdom. So what do you see today that's lacking, um, as opposed to when you were being groomed in ministry or when you were being taught
Um,
in ministry?
This generation, and I won't even say just this generation, I'll just say people. There's some people that automatically feel like they've arrived, like they don't need it, like they're there already. You started to tell your story, and I just want to kind of piggyback that for a minute because what I've discovered is sometimes when people belong to a church, they be handled by leadership, but not trained by leadership. And there's a difference in the two.
Wow.
You can belong to a church and the preacher can be ever so good and you're handled, but you're not being groomed for where you should go. So when you came to me, you had been in ministries and you said to me, that you were really ready to just, you're out here, I'm preaching. And you said, but I feel like there's room for me to grow. You came because you really wanted it. You had a hunger for it. And the first thing I asked you was,
Mhm.
are you ready to be mentored? And do you want me to be brutally honest? Because if you can't handle me telling you the truth, then you're not ready to be a good student. And I told you, I said, bring me your best tape, your best preaching tape, bring it to me and let me listen to it. And you were so excited. You were so excited, and you showed up at my house and you had this tape,
I
and I
did.
put it in and I listened to the whole message attentively, and I was like, and the first thing you said was, "So what did you think?" And I said, "Do you want me to lie to you, or do you want me to tell you the truth? Do you want me to mentor you, or do you want me to pamper you?" And he was like, "I want you to tell me the truth. I want you to mentor me." And I said, "You were out in the field picking daisies. I don't know what you was talking about." And that was tough criticism, but the criticism was not to make you feel bad.
Right.
It was to make you think about what were you doing. Like you had so many topics in one message and none of them were complete. And I had to really try to bring your mind in so that you would understand the importance of focusing in on why you're in the pulpit. And then I said to you, if you let me train you, you will be a preacher's preacher. You will be able to preach in front of anybody. If you let me give you what I have. And immediately you had a willing spirit. I'm finding now people feel like they know it all. I don't know it all. All these years of ministry, over 45 years of ministry, I still don't know it all. So this know it all grandeur attitude that I see in the church is that people feel like if they preach one good message or they get two or three people to follow them or whatever, I've arrived. And it's not true. Somebody can teach you something if you let them. And so you were humble and you were willing to learn and you were willing to take the criticism. And here's the next thing. In mentoring, you have to be willing to take criticism and chastisement.
Mm.
You may not understand it, but iron sharpens iron. You understand it now. You couldn't understand it then, but you
Mm-mm.
understand it now because of maturity and someone guiding you. That's what a mentor does: guides you, teaches you, show you. You understand now the importance of what I was saying to you back then. Back then, it probably didn't make sense. It was like, oh, she's just hard and she's just on me and she's just. But now you understand why it was necessary because ministry is not just getting the mic and getting the pulpit. It's a balance. It's a whole life that you have to contend with spirits, pastors, preachers, people, audiences, the whole nine. And if you're not
Mm.
ready for that, you will die preaching the message. People will look at you and make you feel like you're the worst mistake ever happened in a pulpit. And so mentoring helps you with that. It helps you to navigate through your feelings, through your emotions. It helps you to navigate through what your calling really is. Because sometimes people think they're a prophet and they're really a teacher, and you think you're a preacher, but you're really an exhorter, and you think
Wow.
you're an exhorter, but you're really a teacher. And so, what mentoring does is when a person is looking out for the better good of you, is discerning your spirit the whole time to help navigate you into what calling really belongs to you. One of the
Mm-hmm.
things I'm seeing now is people are crazy about the title prophet. The Bible said God has dealt unto every man a measure of faith, whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to our measure. So everybody can prophesy to yourself.
That's right.
But everybody having faith and saying, oh, I prophesied that by today, God's going to bless me and you may get a blessing, doesn't constitute the title of the prophet.
That's right.
There's a difference in the office of the prophet and you
Yes.
prophesying to yourself. So if they prophesy something to themselves or just say something in casual conversation that come to pass, they automatically, I'm a prophet.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not. The office is different from just having an unction and saying something in faith and watching it come to pass. So that's the difference in um, when I came out in ministry, we had a hunger. And another thing that forced me to be as aggressive about ministry as I was is because they said blatantly women can't preach. And so the
Mm-hmm.
pressure was on all of us. Um, we had to preach. I own a lot. Back in McCullough, all of us, we had to preach because they said we couldn't. And so we had to learn how to do it so that the brothers would be able to receive us as well as the women, because we were being rebuked by women. Women are not supposed to preach as well as men. And if you note, even here in the 21st century, there's still people preaching that women cannot preach. And
That's
I
right.
said something the other day. I said something the other day, and I want to drop this in the spirit. It's an insult for anyone to say that a woman can't preach, and I'll tell you why. You're insulting the intellect of God. If God thought so highly of a woman that He would put His own Son in her and let that woman carry His Son, the old cliche goes, "The hand that rocks the cradle is the hand that rules the world." Before Jesus ever brought a message, He was taught by His mother. Before He ever came out in ministry, He was going forth. He was excelling in favor and in grace. But it was who taught Him when He was 1 through 5, 5 through
Mm-hmm.
10? Who taught Him? That mother, that nurturing hand. So if God can trust a woman to carry Jesus, why can't He trust a woman to carry His word?
Wow.
Because now you got to remember, the Bible says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. Jesus is the Word of God. So a woman carried the Word 9 months and gave birth to the Word Jesus, because Jesus is Word
Mm-hmm.
made manifest in the flesh. So think about it. Mary carried the Word 9 months and gave birth to the Word. So much so, till when they ran out of wine, here's one for you. And they said, we have no wine. She goes to her son because she knows he's ready. She knows he's ready. And she says, Jesus, they have no wine. He said, why have you come to me? Why are you troubling me? It's not my time yet. And then she turned to the people. She didn't argue with him. She knew it was his time. She says, whatever he says to you, do it. Because she knew it was time. He was saying, it's not my time yet. But a mentor will look at you and know when it's your time. So
Yes.
as the people obeyed, they got wine. But who did they obey? Jesus and Mary. Jesus said, it's not my time. Mary said, whatever he tell you to do, do it. Because you get ready to get some wine.
Wow. 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 Okay. I never saw that. All right. Okay, Trinice. Woo! Trinice said, "Bring it." Yes, you're dissertated. You're dissecting this thing.
I mean,
um,
think about it.
wow.
Who was the
Yes,
first woman that carried the word? Mary.
yes, you're right.
And when you're pregnant with what? Ministry. And when you deliver ministry, you deliver what? The word. She
Yeah.
delivered the word. She carried the word. So why can't she speak the word? If God trusts woman enough to make us carry, to impregnate us with word, to carry the word, give birth to the word, then why insult God and say, but a woman can't deliver the word? Are you serious? You're an insult to God. You're now violating God's own wisdom. Like, God, you're not smart enough to let a woman do that. But now you have more sense than God has. And that's a dangerous place to be.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think I
All
think
right.
I stirred
Okay.
up something right there.
Yeah. Hey, you get ready to take us. And the people going right there with you. They are here for it. Uh, listen, I need y'all to share this. I need you to tag and share this live. Thank you for many of you coming in the room. As you come in, share the live, tag and share. Listen, people need to hear this word tonight. I told y'all she was coming. Y'all talk about me, but this is where I get it from right here. So listen, I do have a question before because we do have to go to the retreat. But I do have a question, and I want to go back to Alva's question. Why is there so much jealousy in ministry? But I do want to ask the question the other day, and I think I may have shared this with you. The other day, God simply said this to me. He said, because I felt myself wore out, right? I felt myself exhausted. I felt myself frustrated. And I'm like, Lord, I know Kwame, right? And I said, Lord, what's happening? And he said, in this season, give it to those that want it. And that may sound harsh. He said, give it to those that want it. And he gave me the illustration of when we know a newborn is ready for more. Typically, when a newborn baby is born, they only drink maybe 2 ounces of milk, right? But then eventually, depending on the size they are at birth, but then eventually, as they grow, they start requiring more. And so you graduate from 2 ounces to 4 ounces, from 4 ounces to 6 ounces to 8 ounces, and then eventually they're ready for what my grandmother used to call pablum, food. You start putting a little bit food in the bottle because you know when they want more because they suck more and they're pulling for more. Right? You don't have to say, oh, let me just give them a little bit more to see if they're ready. So Paul says, I would to give you food, but every time I want to give you food, you're not ready. I still have to give you milk because there's so
Mhm,
much envy and strife among you. So,
mhm.
as God dealt with me with that, why is it so? I'm finding in this, and I guess I can say in this season, or maybe it's just a season of my life where it seems so difficult to get people to grab hold to the truth of God, and not only to grab hold to the truth, but to walk in that truth and to walk in obedience to what God is saying.
That is so amazing. And I'm tell you why. One of the jobs of a leader is to reprogram people that has already been programmed. Some of them were birthed out spiritually retarded. Retardation doesn't mean that you can't learn. It means that you're learning at a slower rate. If you were birthed out wrong, you're not able to digest meat. You don't just give a baby meat. Giving a baby meat is a progression. So if you don't stay nowhere long enough to get off the tit or get off the milk, then you'll leave one place on milk and go to another place still on milk, but been saved for years.
Right.
But you didn't stay
Right.
long enough to get, you didn't stay long enough to digest. That same scripture talks about you, for when the time you ought to be teachers, you have to be taught again, because strong meat belong to those who are mature age. Why? You can only give baby food when their system can digest it. You give them too much too soon, they will choke on it. So because you didn't stay placed or position a place long enough to get off milk to rice or to oatmeal, you now picking up babies who are still on milk but think that they can eat meat. So when you give them a revelation, they can't comprehend the revelation because it's too far advanced in the spirit for them, because they're
Wow.
spiritually retarded. So
Wow.
although
Wow.
they've
Wow.
been in
Wow.
church for years, so now watch retardation. If you have a child,
Mhm.
you have a baby, that baby is set to crawl by a certain age, by 6, 7 months. That baby's rolling over, that baby's crawling. By the time that baby's a year, 10 months to a year, that baby's walking. If you have a retarded baby, doesn't mean that it won't, but that baby may not roll over until it's a year. And that baby may not walk until it's 2. So it's not that it can't, it's taking longer to do it because of its motor skills. Mentally, that baby is not where the average baby is. So if you're sitting under a ministry of a leader who birthed you out spiritually retarded, who give you nothing but milk and garbage all the time, when you get to a table of eating meat or eating food, your stomach can't handle it. You cannot digest it. The Bible tells us to eat the whole roll. It was sweet to the mouth, but bitter to the stomach. When you're eating the whole roll, you understand that it's a constant growing. You're maturing to that level that you can comprehend. So if you're dealing with people that cannot comprehend ministry, they're spiritually retarded.
Mm.
They want to work, they want to go, but they're not there. Now you have to go back and take baby steps with them and teach them how to digest what they should have already digested because they've been in church 15 to 20 years. But because they're spiritually retarded, they can learn, but they have to have an appetite to learn.
Wow.
So now we got to go back. Oh, Paul said, now I got to go back over baby steps with you and give you milk again. And you 20 years old, stay. And you can't even digest cereal, let alone meat. You don't give a 10-month-old steak because the molars isn't strong enough to chew it enough to digest it. You give that baby steak, it's going to choke.
Wow.
You give a 2 or 3-year-old a piece of steak, it's going to chew it, digest it, and it's nourishing for the body. Why? Because it has grown to that point. Thus, in the spirit, people are spiritually retarded and feel like they have evolved into someone great, and they didn't have someone, get this, goes back to what I said, they had someone that handled them but didn't nurture them, because the real mother knows how to nurture a baby and watch that baby eat in stages. And when that baby is restless at night, oh, this baby milk is not satisfying you no more, we need to put some rice cereal in there. And you put a
Right.
tablespoonful of rice cereal, and then after a couple of months on, you need some oatmeal, and you put that, and after putting the cereal, now you're in stages. Now I
Yeah.
can give you parade food. You're no
Right.
longer at the milk stage. I can give you parade food that will lead you to real food. So what happens to you and people like us when you get burnt out, the enemy comes to wear out the patience. That's the assignment of the enemy, to wear out the patience of the saints, to wear out your patience, because you're dealing with people who are not spiritually. We put a label on them and think that they're ready, but they're not spiritually ready to digest what you're given. That's why they keep falling off the wagon, because you haven't been nourished enough that you understand that what's being given to me is my lifespan. And if I don't eat this, I will die. So I'll go back and I'll keep nibbling on the what? Familiar. I'll
Yes. Yes.
keep
Yes.
drinking milk
Yes.
because that's familiar. That's
Yes.
familiar. I'll just keep eating crackers because that's familiar. I'll keep having rice cereal because that's familiar, because that over there is too deep. I'm not ready for that. I can't handle that. Well, you're still a babe. You've been in church 20 years, but you're still a babe. Spiritually, you have not grown. And so what has happened is you're 20 years in, but you're being raped in the pews because you're dealing with somebody that's not intellectually in a place to take you any further than where they are.
Oh.
So if they're spiritually retarded, then they have a bunch of spiritually retarded children. And then when you get them and you're trying to say, you've been in church 15 years, and they were like, yeah, I know ministry. Oh, you do? Then why are you doing this? Well, what's wrong with this? And you're dragging them, trying to give them a promotion that they're not ready for because they're still babes.
Wow. Wow. Listen, y'all tag and share. Y'all tag and share. Listen. So as you were talking, and I know we got to move, but as you were talking, I thought about the scripture that says, and I'm going to paraphrase it. It says that uh, once, whenever a season, the angel came and troubled the water, and whoso stepped foot into the water was the first one to step into the water, was made whole of whatever disease he had,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
And so
mm-hmm.
when Jesus came and said, "Wilt thou be made whole?" the reply was, every time I go to get in the water, someone goes in before me. But what stands out in that passage of scripture to me is the word disease. It
Mm-hmm.
says, will be made whole of whatever disease. Now, Webster defines the word disease as a disordered or incorrectly functioning organ or system of the body resulting from the effect of genetic or developmental errors. So, what that is a disease is something that is functioning in dysfunction.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Now,
we
and
have
I'll
been,
take it a step further. Look at this. Look at this. You're absolutely correct. But look at this. That man knew for 38 years everybody at that pool was diseased, right?
mhm,
He was crippled more than being crippled because in his mind, when Jesus says, do you want to be healed? He says, I have no man.
I have no man. Right,
I have no man to help me. In other
right.
words, I need somebody that's more crippled than me to help me with my cripple. And for 38 years, he depended on somebody that was already messed up to deliver him, not somebody that was able to deliver. He's in the face of someone that is able to deliver, train, mentor, develop, pull you out. But he's like, but I have no man to help me. For 38 years, mentally, you are crippled at the same spot, waiting on the same disease crippled people to help you. And who's going to help you? Everybody is lame, withered, and halt, just like you. So who's going to help you come out if you're in a circle, all of y'all jacked up together? So who's going to help you be delivered in your circle? All y'all want a little bump and grind. All y'all want a little toast and wine. All y'all messed up. So who's going to help who be delivered? Not your inner circle. Jesus came, get this, and when he came to the pool, he looked at the man with pity, like, you've been here so long, you should have been out this pool. He looked upon him with compassion. And notice this, his miracle was never in the pool. He never got in the pool.
Right, 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 right. Oh, I'm sorry. I got
Pick up your
excited.
bed and walk.
Yes,
Get out of
yes,
here, because you've been here too long. 38
yes.
years struggling with the same spirit, 38 years struggling with the same weakness, 38 years drunk, 38 years prostitute, 38 years Or you're in the same spot with the same group of people 38 years and there's no deliverance because you are crippled in your mind. And although deliverance is here, you don't want it because it's not familiar. So you gravitate to the familiar, which is your inner core circle. And that's who you run with, your inner core circle. And I'm trying to give you deliverance over here. And you don't understand deliverance because your whole circle is crippled.
Oh,
Everybody
God.
in the pool is crippled. Everybody
Jesus.
in the pool was crippled. So who was going to help you? The paralyzed man? The blind man? The demon possessed man? Who was going to help you get in the pool? The man with the withered hand? The man with, who's going to help you? The one with cerebral palsy? Who's going to lift you up? You keep asking your inner core circle, who's on the same level with you, to give you spiritual insight. And you cannot get spirituality out of carnality. You need somebody spiritual enough to help lead you out of that crippled state of being, that crippled state of thinking. Diseased. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right, y'all see what I'm talking about? Okay, there we go. There you have it. That one word disease. Just that one word. Just that one word disease. So, we're gonna come back to we're out there now. We are so far out there. I'm thinking while you're talking, like this is supposed to be a short interview. I think we're gonna have to come back again because, oh my God, like there is so much happening here, and it's just so. This is so important because there are so many right now, and in light of everything that's happening in the climate, in the atmosphere, I tell people all the time, if you can't believe the spiritual prophet, listen, look at the natural prophet. There's a sound in the weather. There's a sound in everything that's happening. God has given us warning, right? And God has Elva saying, yeah, it's good. Yeah, come back. She's saying, come back, come back. There is so much that's happening. And it's just so important that we hear and that we understand, which is taking us to our mentoring classes. Because
Well, can I tell you? Let
yes,
me
ma'am.
just interject this real quick, and then I'm gonna shut my mouth. Can I tell you what's the worst disease in the church right now? Pride.
Yes.
Too proud to admit that you don't know, and will not humble yourself so that you can know. Pride.
Yes.
That's the number one disease in the church.
Yes.
Self-exaltation, self-righteousness, haughty, high-minded, and my pride won't let me humble myself to know what I don't know, because I don't want to feel my emotions, my heart, to feel like I'm not who I say I am. Because I feel like I am.
Mm-mm.
Everybody around you can see that you're not, but you feel like you are. And your pride won't let you humble yourself enough to be delivered, to be what God wants you to be. Okay,
Wow.
I'm sorry. I just had to throw
Wow.
that in there. Sorry.
Wow. Wow. And I can say personally, coming up under your tutelage, there was no room for pride. Because every time we thought we were proud, it was just like, but we're not gonna go there. All right, let's skip that part. Let's fast forward. Um,
Okay,
woo!
spirit.
That's just skip that whole part right there. You have to be willing. Listen. There was so many times, and I shared this not long ago. There was so many times I got rebuked, and Lord, I was like, this lady is crazy. Like, what? Like she see what they're doing to me? I mean, I was rebuked and then told I had to get up and preach right after the rebuke. But
Exactly. Because that's a part of mentoring. Because if you can't handle rebuke, then you're not ready to preach. Because somebody may hurt your feeling on the way in the door to preach. What you gonna do? Go sit down and cry? Oh, they hurt my feelings. Oh, they was talking about me. Oh, they were looking at me. You gonna sit down and cry? That's a part. That's a part what training and mentoring does. It helps you to understand that whatever is going on in your spirit, you leave that at the door before you walk into that pulpit.
that's right.
You don't carry that. You don't, oh, they was talking about me. And now your spirit is all out of sorts. And now you getting ready to give these people a retarded message
Oh,
because it's based on your feelings and emotions. And it is never on your feelings and emotions. It should always be about God. So when I would rebuke you and say, now go in there and preach, I wanted you to get beyond the pain of rebuke and the tears that you just had to cry and put your feelings on the back burner, because what's on the agenda right now is God and not your flesh.
that's right.
Yeah.
And so many times we have people now that won't even show up.
Yeah. No, no. I mean, people that have been in ministry for years
Right.
and have names. Um, and, let me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to show up because what? There are souls that's waiting to be fed and people waiting to be delivered, and you're not going to show up because somebody said something, somebody moved something, somebody. What? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to zip my lip on that
You,
one.
you said something that stands out so profoundly, and I'm sure there's so many on here tonight that can appreciate all the nuggets that's being dropped, but especially um, just the fact that you can be saved for so many. And we have people that's being reinvented, or well, maybe that's not the word. Just going from church to church to church to church to church to church. No stability, no growth, no substance. Not being able to endure. And I'm not talking about staying someplace where you're being spiritually raped and you're not getting what you need, and you're being mishandled. I'm talking about just for the sake of moving and not being stable and not being settled, right? You'll never get what you need. You'll never get you'll never get mentored. You'll never really get the full lesson, because every time you get offended or upset or mad, you go hopping someplace else. And we see
Spiritual
that
vagabond.
happening. Yeah.
A spiritual vagabond. A vagabond nibbles wherever it goes. It don't stay nowhere long. I'm gonna be on this corner tonight, and I'll sleep in this alley over here. And then tomorrow I'm gonna pick up my blanket and my cart and my put, and I'm gonna move over there, and I'll get something over there, and then I'll just get my cart and I'm gonna go down the block because they throw food out at McDonald's and I eat McDonald's. And then tomorrow I'll go camp out in front of somebody's store. You're a spiritual vagabond. You don't belong anywhere.
Ooh. Ah, oh, okay. So listen, let's talk. um, so you still have time, right? You still have time. Um, we're going into the mentoring classes this coming Saturday. Uh, this coming Saturday, um, and then from there every other Saturday until 16-week course. And I don't know if we have some that were a part of our last mentoring class, but those that were a part, and we had some that came and dropped off, before the ending of the 16 weeks was over. But then at the end of the 16 weeks, there were those that passed the class and they're ready to go into semester 2. And so, what are some of the things that we'll be dealing with in semester 1 for those that are going to be registering for the class? You can register a la carte, um, which means right before the class, you can register, take advantage of our packages that we have available to save on. You can register for 4 weeks, 6 weeks, I believe it's 8 weeks, 12 weeks, and 16 weeks. But what are some of the things that we're going to be dealing with as we go into the mentoring classes?
We're going to deal, oh my God, it's so much. We're going to deal with discipline, discipleship, what each calling is, identifying with who you are, and what God has called you to, um, being able to understand your calling, not just have a calling, but understand it, understand the office of it, understand the structure of it. We'll get into in season 1 how to research, how to lay out a message, how to dissect the word, how to perceive the word, how to uh, lay before God, intercession, finding out how to seek God for a word for the house. I mean, we're going to cover all areas of ministry, definitely discipline and structure, because in this day and age, that's what's lacking a lot. People don't want structure. Um, they just want to get up and just be all over the place and not have guidelines and structure. And, you know, the reason why Satan has such a good stronghold over the church, Satan comes from a structured place. He come from a place of order. He come from a place of government. So he understands structure. When you're running all around here and have no structure, no guidelines, no discipline, he knows, hey, that's prime target for me to attack, because they're not going to be disciplined enough to pray. They're not going to be disciplined enough to study. They're not going to be disciplined enough to seek the face of God. So that's an open door. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to tap everything that they're supposed to be representing, because they're not organized enough to prioritize God. God is the last thing on their agenda. Their priority is mammon. Mammon is a God. So my God is chasing the dollar and not chasing God.
Wow. Wow. And this is so true. This is, oh, this is so true. And you have to be willing to, how do I get the information about this course? I'm in regular school for nursing. Why not be in school for spiritual life? That's what I'm talking about, Trinice. Listen, I've been posting to my page. The flyer is already on my page. We've been talking about it for a while now. Um, you can go to my website. All the information is once again on my Facebook page. And I will continue to post, and I will send you, I'll inbox you the flyer, the information. The classes, like as I said, will be held beginning this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We're on for 1 hour, 1.5 at the most, every other Saturday. And the 16-week course goes from February 22nd through September 13th. Classes are only on Saturdays, every other Saturday. Now, the registration, you can register via my website. My website is scrolling at the bottom, lisamackieenterprises.com. Go under events and register. Classes are $50. Listen, did y'all hear me? That's it. $50 per class, a la carte. $50. That's it. The information that we get, and I said this to my spiritual mother, and I'm just going to be transparent. I said, if we do mentoring classes again, the last time we did not charge $50, and $50 is no money for the information and for the importation that we are going to receive. You get, listen, $50. $50. And one thing the Lord told me at the ending of last year, those of you that's with us on intercession, I know Co-Pastor Marilyn's on here, and TD's on here. Some of you that's on, hey daughter, I love you so much. Um, uh, One thing the Lord told me last year was this year, 2025, mother, the Lord said that we as the church, it's time for us to make investments in ourselves. We support, coach. We're so busy looking like we have until we don't possess anything. And so we spend our money and we invest in so much. I'll send it to you, Trinice. When I get on tonight, look at it first thing. Yes, ma'am. Um, we invest in so much outside of ourselves. And so $50 is nothing to enhance yourself, to learn. The Bible says, in all your wisdom is the principal thing, and all you're getting get understanding. We need to understand. And you said something key, Mom. You said the enemy comes after us because he knows we really, and I'm paraphrasing what you said, we don't have any substance. We're not equipped for warfare. We're not ready for warfare. How many people really don't know how to do spiritual warfare? It's amazing to me. We're on intercession almost every morning. And to realize and understand the percentage of the church that does not understand intercession, right? So understanding is key. And so making that investment, Alva, is key. And so I believe that we need to make that investment in ourselves. And I always use right. I always make this analogy. If we can go to Popeyes and spend almost $15 on a 2-piece and a biscuit, imagine if you don't go to Popeyes for 3 times a week, you'll have your registration money. Right? Just make the sacrifice. And so $50 a la carte, you can go, my website is up. You can go on and register a la carte, which means per class, or you can register and take advantage of register for 4 weeks and get a discount, register for 8 weeks and get a discount, register for 12 weeks. We're getting ready to come into our taxes, y'all. Let's just be honest. Listen, take some of that tax money and register for these classes. You will not regret it. And I am a firm believer in making an investment in ourselves. So thank you for asking, Trinice. You can go, I'm going to be posting on my page. I'm making the announcement on intercession. I'm making the announcements on Monday Manna. I'm making the announcements whenever I get the chance so that people can take advantage of being a part of the mentoring classes. No, it is not too late. I shared that with somebody today. It is absolutely not too late. We are days away from, matter of fact, it's Thursday. We are 1 day away from starting our class on Saturday, but it is not too late for you to register. Classes will be held via Zoom. And so it is a closed group via Zoom. If you register and you are not on, yes, I will be recording the sessions, and we are only sending those recordings out, right, Mother, to those that are registered. So we are not sending, this is not a freebie. You cannot send the link to somebody that have not registered. We are not prostituting the gift. We are recording. So yes, I want all of you guys to register. So listen, let's move real fast because I know our brains can only handle but so much. And Elva, I'm going to let my spiritual mother just for a second talk about the question you asked about why is there so much jealousy in ministry, and then we're going to quickly shift to the upcoming Healing from the Inside Out Retreat 2025. So the question that Elva asked, why is there so much jealousy in ministry?
Insecurity. One word. When a person is insecure, they become intimidated by someone that is doing something that they feel like they're not doing quite as good as. And that insecurity will make a person fight someone else or berate them or belittle them because they're not where they want to be. And they become, get this, envious when they can be just as good as if they apply themselves. So you see a lot of insecurity. And a person will sit while you're bringing the message. Oh, they really don't have no word. Oh, I really don't like that. I didn't like the way they walked it. That's insecurity. When you're secure of yourself, like I say all the time, I tell people, I don't, I don't have to speak at my conference. I don't care anything about speaking. I will put everybody else up. The only reason why I do speak is because when people come, they want to hear me.
Yeah.
If it weren't for the fact that they want to hear me, it would just simply be my sons and daughters. I don't have to ever speak because I feel like I've spoke enough. But I do it because there are people that actually buy plane tickets and fly in because they want to hear me. They want to hear everyone else, but they want to hear me as well. So, but a jealous leader will never release their children to go forward. They will always hold them back. They will
Mm.
always find fault in them. They will always try to cripple them because they can't handle. Now, sometimes, get this, sometimes children have to be careful that they don't assume that the leader is jealous because they feel they're ready and your leader know you're not. So that thing has to be dealt with so that you would know I'm not overriding leadership because I'm ready. And the leader may be saying, well, you're not quite ready yet. Then it's easy for people to say, like I had someone years ago tell one of my members that I was jealous of their ministry, licensed them and sent them out, and it was a shipwreck. And they had to come back to me. I said, I guess you know now that you weren't ready. Why didn't they teach you how to handle this? So sometimes people will get in your ear or get in the ear of a person or when they see you excelling. I talked to a pastor just the other day because I was working with the ministry, and two of the ministers in the ministry became very insecure and jealous of my presence because the pastor would get up and say, Sister B can preach rings around everybody in here. Well, I wasn't there to preach rings around anybody. I was just there to serve. And because of that, they became my enemies. Jealousy will make you be the enemy to someone that could be there to really do you some good. So, I mean, just like a person get jealous if you buy a car, I got to buy one better. You get a home, I got to get a bigger home. And that's the same spirit in the church. If you bring a message, my message is going to be better than yours. I'm going to sing the song better than you do. And that is a spirit the Bible says is as cruel as the grave. A person will kill you spiritually over spiritual jealousy. That's why.
Don't run
Insecurity.
out in the cold, Apostle. Apostle said, I can run out in the cold. Don't run out in the cold, Apostle. Ooh, how do you handle an insecure person? Because it's nothing you have person done to cause them to feel that way. So how do you handle them with care?
You love them and pray for them and realize that it's a familiar spirit. You don't mishandle them. You don't mistreat them. You let them kill themselves. You make sure that you don't become the offender because you can become offended by a person being jealous and insecure with you. If you're not careful, offense will become a part of you. And in your offense, you can offend them. So you don't want to be the offender. You love them and let them go. You don't feed into anything you nurture will grow. So if you feed into their insecurities, you will now make yourself feel inconvenient and miserable because you're trying to satisfy them. That's not your assignment to satisfy their insecurities. It's their assignment to want to be delivered from it.
Wow. Wow. She says, yes, ma'am. Yeah. All right, y'all. Listen. For the sake of time, we are going to move on. I know some of you said we need. I know we need a part two. We do need a part two. We need a part two. Uh, but we let's shift just a little bit right here because we do want to talk about something I am so very excited about, and that is this is year number 3 My
Number
spiritual
three.
mom, number three, my spiritual mom had not been doing conferences. Um, Trinice, y'all are hilarious. Um, and what I mean by doing conferences, hosting. And then the Lord told her that it was time to get back up. And so I was privileged to be at both retreats, and both retreats where I'm telling you, it went from one level to another level. And I cannot wait this year of 2025, this coming November. The dates are already set. And so I had
6, 7, and
conversations 6th, 7th, and 8th of
8.
November. And the Lord spoke
Mhm.
to me without even having conversation with her. And nobody knew this, I believe, but maybe co-pastor Marilyn and my oldest niece, that I was planning on making this move as it relates to my conference. And the Lord told me to stop everything and just pour everything into the retreat. And I'm excited about this year, 2025, the retreat, Healing from the Inside Out. So can you talk to us a little bit about, she's not in Houston, she is in Dallas, Elva. She's in Dallas.
Yes, we are.
They're
I
trying to
was
take
in
my
Houston.
spiritual mother. What are
I
y'all
was
doing?
in I was in Houston for 8 years and then
Yeah.
moved to Dallas. But this year I am so excited because this year God has been dealing with me about being positioned for His purpose, launching forth in ministry, being able to handle the pressure of what is happening around us, uh, and be positioned to move out, taking marching orders on an assignment. It's like a military move where God positions us, rules of engagement. We're moving forward. We have to be positioned and ready for that. And so, um, after not doing conferences or anything for 9 years, I was sitting down like not pastoring, not doing conferences, nothing. The Lord said, "Get up. I'm tired of my people looking healed, acting healed, dressing healed, and on the inside, they're chicken time bombs. I want you to do a conference healing from the inside out. I want them healed from the inside because you can look healed outside and go commit suicide. You can look healed outside and go commit murder. You can look like everything is okay in the morning, and by evening, you're trying to blow your brains out or on a psych ward." So God said He wanted people healed from the inside and out. That's what the retreat is all about. Every year, it is to target you, the total man, mind, body, soul, spirit, one Lord, one faith, one baptism, bringing you in alignment spiritually, emotionally, with the plan and the will of God so that you would have balance. The church is imbalanced right now, and we need balance, spiritual balance. And so the conference is designed to do that, give us a balance, help us to understand. So I have classes that deal with every area of life, deal with children, crisis, ministry, intercession, everything. We deal with the total person. And so this year, um, the hotel, get this, the hotel for a double suite. You just have to. The hotel room for a double bed suite. You have your living room, refrigerator, microwave, everything, and then a double bedroom for only 129.
Mm.
129 a night. So if you have a roommate that will come with you, you're spending less than, well, right at $200 to stay the whole retreat for hotel stay. And that comes with complimentary breakfast and everything. So you just can't beat it. I mean, where you go places and you probably spend for a double room, $200, $300, 129 for a king and 129 for a double. Split that between two people, three people, because the couch in the living room is even a bed. So you can put 3 people in a room, and it's even less. So I would like to encourage all of you to come, because this retreat is not about popularity. It's not about fame to claim. This retreat is totally spiritual. It's all about your spirit, man. Every lecturer, every teacher for the last 2 years has been all about empowerment, strengthening, and helping you to identify and be able to stand the test of time and receive straight from the hand of God. So I would like to invite all of you to come meet me right here in Dallas. We're going to be staying at the Embassy Suites, and it's on. It's we're ready.
Yes. And so, do we have those dates correct? November, is it November 6th, 7th, 8th, Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
No, it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay, so it's 7th,
Yeah.
8th, and 9th, right?
Of November.
November. Yes.
Yeah.
The
It
Thursday
should
is
be
on the,
six. It should be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
um, let me
Is
double
my
check my
calendar
calendar.
off? Are you in last year's calendar?
November, November 6th, 7th, 8th is Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So it should be 7, 8. Hmm?
Is it 7th, 8th, and 9th?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, those that want to come in on Thursday, we'll
Yes.
give you the option to come in on Thursday. Some people want to come in on Thursday, but the actual conference itself will not start until Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
So
Friday,
let me go back
Saturday,
and
and
look at
Sunday.
this, because um, we already had the calendar date set. Anyway, um, it's the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
We were going to cancel. This might be where we're getting confused. I was going to cancel out the Sunday service and just do Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then I thought, no, I better keep the same flow of what we've already done and just do our classes on Saturday and end it on Sunday morning. Some
Yeah.
people look for that Sunday morning service.
Yes. Yes. And the Sunday morning services have been phenomenal. So, for those that want to travel in on that Thursday, you are welcome to. We have people that come in early. I know that when we come in early. And so, uh, the flyer will be posted shortly. Registration is open. Will be opening, if not open now, will be opening very soon. And so I believe that we are looking for those of you that are interested to come. Now, I'm just going to put it out there for those that are interested in coming. You can go ahead and start sending in your registration. What is this? Do we have a registration amount set yet?
Registration is $100.
Okay, so you can send in your $100 um, for your registration. Um, Immediately. You know, if you want to Zelle your registration in, I just listen. I do what I was taught, y'all, and I have seen my spiritual mother move in absolute faith, and I believe that there are those of you that are on here tonight that are grabbing hold to the word of the Lord, and I believe that God is dropping it in your spirit. So you say, listen, I'm ready to rock and roll, and I'm going to make it happen. I know that we are in November, and look, I no, we are in February, and I know, and for some reason, church people are wired. I don't know if it's church people or just us people are wired to wait until the last minute to do stuff. But if you say, listen, I'm on board and this is something that I need and you want to be a part, I want you to register for the retreat. It is phenomenal. And of course, you'll see all the information that's going to be posted. And as the information is posted, I'm going to be sharing it to my page. And so I am trusting God that we are going to be a part of this phenomenal move of God. So listen, before we wrap it up tonight, again, let's take advantage of um, one is the mentoring classes, the virtual mentoring classes that are beginning this coming Saturday, February 22nd through Saturday, September 13th, 2025. This is our semester one. And this is not only for those that are in ministry. If you have a call of God on your life, if God is calling you to ministry, if you want to learn more about prayer and finding your place in God, if you've been called to the marketplace, understanding what is your position, what tower are you called to cover in the marketplace, all sort of things. We want you to register for the mentoring classes. It is not too late to do that. And then we have the Healing from the Inside Out Retreat 2025. November 7th, 8th, and 9th of this year, 2025. So, Mother, do you
Mhm,
have anything you
mhm.
want to share before we wrap it up tonight?
No, I'm just looking forward to seeing everybody Saturday.
Yes. Yes, I am so excited. So again, you can if you don't have means to go on the website to register, then of course you can also register for um the the mentoring classes via Zelle or Cash App. And so I'll be posting my information up for that. Some people say, well, I'm not real savvy with the computer and I don't know how to go on. There are always other means to submit your registration for the mentoring classes. So those of you that want to be a part, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am in great anticipation. I'm excited about what God is going to do for us on Saturday as well as the duration of the year. And so before we close out tonight, are there any questions? I think I'll take one more question before we wrap it up tonight. I know that our brains can only handle but so much information. So I don't want to put us on overload. If you're on tonight, do you have any other questions on tonight before we wrap up? If not, we will see you in the morning. For those of you that are with us during intercession, we will see you in the morning at 6:45 a.m. Central Standard Time, 7:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you never know. You never know. You never know. Mother Gardiner, Lady B, uh, uh, like not say TB may be with us. Biddy B may be with us in the morning for intercession. So we want you. We'll be right here on Facebook as well as YouTube in the morning for our morning intercession and prophetic utterance. All right. I believe that that's it. All right. Thank you, Mother, so much for taking out the time. Again, I feel honored. I think this is my first interview with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I was a little nervous about this. I was shook it, but I'm so I am
Oh,
so
Lord.
so excited, and we're gonna have to be back. We're gonna have to do this again. This
Yes.
was awesome, and so um, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, woman of God. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, everybody that came on and dropped in tonight to be a part of this. And she said, yes, please. We will do it again. I promise we will do it again. So for those of you that's with us, I want you to share the word. For those of you that's with us, thank you, Darlene. Thank you, Jill. Thank you. Um, and she will for those of you that are registering for our Philadelphia prayer breakfast, April 12th, April 12th at the Delta Hotel, Philadelphia Airport. Uh, my spiritual mom is our speaker for that prayer breakfast. So spread the word. She's going to be in Philadelphia with us April 12th for the prayer breakfast. So I'm looking for those of you. Um, he is going to make a way for you, sis. He is. I told you that before. Yes, he is. Um, those of you in the Philadelphia, Delaware, Maryland, Jersey area, come on out and feast on the word of the Lord in less than 57 days, I think it is 50 plus days. She's going to be with us in the Philadelphia area. So for those of you that's needing more information, go to my Facebook page. I'm going to be posting all the information to my Facebook page, and I'll be sharing it also to my Spiritual Moms page. But we look forward to seeing you being a part of this time of sharing with us. All right. God bless you, everybody. Thank you for joining us, Mother. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys
Absolutely.
in the morning at 6:45 a.m. Central, 7:45 a.m. Eastern. All right. Good night, everybody. Love you so much.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.